Picture this. Tomorrow morning, before anyone else wakes up, you slip on your shoes and step outside quietly. No breakfast yet, no coffee, just you and stillness. Somewhere inside your body, something remarkable is about to happen. A switch is waiting to flip, and most people never find it. Today, you're going to learn exactly where that switch is. Because walking on an empty stomach isn't just exercise, it's a completely different biological event than walking after eating. Here's the strange part nobody warns you about first. For some people, this habit works like pure magic. For others, the exact same walk changes almost nothing. The difference isn't luck, effort, or willpower at all. It's something happening quietly inside your bloodstream right now. By the time this ends, you'll understand that difference completely. You'll know why belly fat clings on so stubbornly. You'll know what your body does in a fasted state. And you'll know the one mistake that ruins everything instantly. So, let's start with a question you already know the answer to. Why is belly fat always the last one to leave? You cut sugar, you sweat at the gym, you diet hard. Arms get leaner, legs get leaner, face gets leaner too. But that stubborn pouch around your stomach barely moves at all. That's not bad luck. That's biology working exactly as designed. Belly fat isn't like fat anywhere else on your body. It's wired directly into your stress hormones and insulin levels, which means normal dieting alone often doesn't touch it much. But something shifts the moment you wake up each morning. Your body enters a state most people never take advantage of. You haven't eaten in 8, maybe 10 hours overnight. Your insulin has dropped low, quietly, while you were sleeping. Your stored sugar reserves are already partially used up. Your body is essentially standing at a fuel station, empty tank, and it's asking one simple, urgent question right now. Where do I find energy to keep this body running? This is the exact moment morning walking becomes powerful, but to understand why, you need to know something first. Your body only has 2 real sources of fuel. Sugar, which is fast and easy, and fat, which is stored. After a normal breakfast, your body always reaches for sugar. It's convenient, immediate, sitting right there in your bloodstream. So when you exercise after eating, sugar gets burned first. Fat stores stay untouched, quietly weighing, completely ignored by your body. But walking before breakfast changes this entire equation instantly. With almost no sugar available, your body has to adapt. It looks elsewhere for energy, and it finds your fat. Specifically, it starts pulling from those stubborn stored reserves. Here's where it gets even more interesting than you think. Not every fat cell responds the same way to this. Belly fat is deeply tied to insulin and stress hormones, which means fasted walking speaks directly to belly fat's language. When you walk fasted, insulin stays low the entire time. Low insulin sends a clear signal throughout your entire body. It tells your body, stop storing, start burning instead, now. In plain words, you flip from storage mode to burning mode. But here's something almost nobody tells you about this process. A slow, lazy stroll around your living room won't cut it. The real transformation happens only after a certain time threshold. Your body needs to stay in that state long enough. Which brings us to the next big, important question here. How long should this fasted walk actually last for results? Because plenty of people walk 5 minutes and feel accomplished. They expect their belly fat to disappear by tomorrow morning. But the science tells a slightly different, more honest story. Research and fitness experts generally point toward 30 to 45 minutes.
That's the window where your body taps deeper into fat. Not 5 minutes, not 10, but a sustained 30 plus. Before you set an alarm and plan an hour-long walk, wait. There's a mistake almost everyone makes without even realizing it. Let me paint you a very familiar, very relatable picture. Someone wakes up, grabs a sugary coffee, maybe a small snack, then they head out for what they believe is a fasted walk. Technically, yes, they're moving, they're outside, they're being active, but metabolically, something is already quietly gone wrong here. That small snack flipped their body back to burning sugar. The fasted advantage disappeared the second that sugar hit their system, which means the walk becomes ordinary, ineffective, just background movement. This is exactly why people say the habit didn't work. They blame the walking, but the timing was the real problem. One sugary drink undid 30 minutes of potential fat burning. It's a small detail with a surprisingly large, invisible impact. Now here's something that happens beyond just that one walk. Fasted morning movement gives your metabolism a boost afterward too. Your body becomes more sensitive to insulin for hours later, which means food eaten later is less likely stored as fat. Think of it like resetting your metabolic system first thing, a small daily reset that quietly compounds over many weeks. But there's a deeper layer most people completely overlook here. Morning walking doesn't just burn calories in the moment itself, it also lowers cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone, and stress is one of the biggest hidden causes of belly fat. When cortisol stays elevated for long stretches of time, fat accumulates, specifically around your stomach, more than almost anywhere else. Gentle morning movement, fresh air, and sunlight help regulate this, which means you're attacking belly fat from two directions simultaneously, burning stored fat directly and reducing what causes it to accumulate. Now, you might be wondering something completely reasonable at this point. If fasted walking burns more fat, should you push harder? Should you splint instead of walk to speed everything up? Actually, no, and this is where many people sabotage themselves. Extremely intense exercise while fasting can spike stress hormones dramatically. Too much cortisol can lead to fatigue or even muscle loss. The real sweet spot isn't intensity, it's sustainable, steady movement. A brisk walk where you can still hold a conversation, you're breathing slightly heavier, but never gasping, never exhausting yourself. Not too easy, not too hard, just consistent, steady effort. This keeps your body sitting right inside the optimal fat-burning zone. Let's be honest about something important before we continue further. Will this melt your belly fat away in 7 days? Unfortunately, no, and anyone promising that isn't telling you the truth. Fat loss behaves more like a slowly melting block of ice, not a sudden explosion, not an overnight dramatic transformation at all. But the real power here comes from quiet, repeated consistency. Imagine burning just a small amount of extra fat daily. One single day, it feels invisible, almost pointless, barely noticeable. But across weeks, then months, that small amount compounds significantly. That's when your waistline slowly starts shifting without you forcing it. Your clothes start fitting slightly differently, almost without warning. Your stomach gradually flattens, quietly, consistently, one morning at a time. Now here's a small addition that can amplify this entire process. Hydration matters more here than most people ever consider. A glass of water before your walk wakes up your metabolism. It also prevents dehydration, which can interfere with fat burning. Some people also add black coffee before their fasted walk. Caffeine can slightly increase fat oxidation and available energy levels, but it has to stay black, completely free of added sugar. The moment sugar enters, your fasted advantage disappears immediately again. Let's slow down and gather everything we've walked through together. When you walk on an empty stomach, sugar is scarce. Your body compensates by reaching into stored fat for fuel. Low insulin keeps you inside fat-burning mode for longer. 30 to 45 minutes gives your body real time to work. Moderate, steady intensity outperforms extreme, exhausting fasted workouts consistently. This habit also lowers stress hormones tied to belly fat storage. Together, these factors create the ideal environment for gradual fat loss. But there's one final truth worth remembering before you begin. This isn't a magic trick, a shortcut, or a miracle cure. It's a simple, sustainable habit that works best alongside other choices.
Pair it with balanced eating, real sleep, and genuine consistency. The most powerful part of this habit is how simple it is. No expensive equipment, no complicated plan, no confusing rules to follow. Just your body, a quiet street, and a decision to begin. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for anything to eat, step outside first and give your body its chance to work. Small mornings like that one quietly shape your future body. And somewhere down the road, your future self will notice that one simple walk was where the real change actually started.